So I'm here inside of Beehiiv. We're going to be writing our first draft of our first post, but I want to show you one button that you need to press that's going to save you hours and hours. This is one of the first things you want to be doing when you are getting ready to write your first post. We're here in our free course to show you how to set up your first newsletter business in the best way in order to help you become profitable with your newsletter. We're on day 3 of the setup, and like I said, we're all focused on writing that first draft and teaching what this button is that you really need to make sure that you press. So in order to find this button, we need to start writing our newsletter. So you've got a few options. You go into here, write, and hit post. You can hit start writing, or if you haven't yet, you can click this button here that says write your first draft. Before we write our first draft, you might want to put in some content tags. This is just so that your content is organized. As it goes up on the website, Beehiiv is going to publish your newsletters to a website. That means they can be found online. It means that there's SEO there. And if you group them, then that means that the content on the website that you get linked to Beehiiv is searchable. So you might want to put that in. But we're going to go into posts, as I said, or what we can do is we can just hit this start writing button. So that's what I'm going to click, and it's going to bring up the writer. So you can do everything inside of Beehiiv. Now I'm not going to go through all the different settings. We've got all of these buttons up here. We've got SEO. We've got tons going on. I'm not going to do all of that. We do have a dedicated series showing you how you can set up full newsletters on Beehiiv. All the details is coming up soon. If you're interested in that level of detail, then just subscribe to the channel, put the bell notification on, you will get that. But for now, I just want to show you the basics. So the first thing I like to do is title the post so that I know what it is. So let's call this Yoga 1, because it's my first email on yoga, and it's going to go out on Monday. This doesn't have to go in the title of the email, so I can turn that off, and I'm not going to have a subtitle either, so I can just leave that blank. Once I've done that, I can actually start writing. So all you need to do in order to do that is you can click, you can then start typing your newsletter, or you can click on this button here and it will give you some different things to do. So for example, you could put images in, so you could upload an image from your desktop, or you can use the library. The library is quite good. You've got assets that you've already used that you can upload. You've got access to Giphy and to Unsplash as well, which is your stock images. So all you need to do is put a keyword in and it will find stock images that you're able to use in your newsletter. Any point you click something you don't like it, just go down here to delete. So let's imagine I'm going through and I'm building my newsletter, and I'm putting all of these different things in. I can embed YouTube videos, put different sections in, block quotes, I can put in links. You really can put anything you need into your newsletter. Once this is ready to publish, then I can save it or I can preview it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back and show you one that I made earlier so you could see what a final version might look like. So here is a newsletter for Yoga One Monday that I wrote earlier. You can see I've got my introduction, then I've got my first topic, I've got this information, and I used AI to write all of this. I'll show you how I did that in a second. Then I've got my recommended providers. So these will be people that have paid me to feature in my newsletter. And this is going out to businesses because this is a B2B newsletter. So I'm trying to connect businesses that provide wellness or well-being for corporations to those corporations. So this would be how I could earn money from my newsletter. I put in a little button here to encourage people to share it. And then I've got some industry news, and then I've got some ways people can work with us again, so that I'm driving people in order to make money from my newsletter, because that's the whole point of doing this. Just to show you how I produce this information before I show you that magic button, we use Copy. We've got 2 videos in this free course. You can get the link down in the playlist, and I'll link to those videos at the end of this one. But all you've got to do is go into Copy, hit on newsletter creator. Then all you've got to do is fill out the information. So I filled all of that out. I just go down and pick whatever tone I want. I'm going to go for casual. Including images means that I get stock images in there. I'm going to go for depth, and then I'm going to hit create, and Copy is going to go away and create the newsletter for me. Now the first thing it does is it gives me an outline to each section. What that means is I can go through each outline and I can decide whether I like it or not. So all of these bits are editable, and I can delete different parts as well. So if I wanted to do a long in-depth newsletter on yoga, then I might have all of these. So I've got some success stories, I've got culture, got all of these different things that I can include. So let's go for this one here. I can either get it to write all, and what will happen is that all of these sections will be written by the AI, and you can see I haven't had to do anything apart from put in the prompt. This is much easier than using something like ChatGPT. If I like a particular section, I can copy it, I can insert it in the document so I can work on it more over here, or I can just copy it and then move it over into my newsletter, which is exactly what I did here. For this section, with the industry news, I was able to use a creation tool to find the information for me. There's free ones and paid ones, and again, if you go back to our training where we talk about different AI tools, you'll be able to find out what tool we used for that in order to put these in. And then you've got all of these links so people can go through and read the articles if they want to. So the magic button, the one you want to use when you have a layout that you are happy with, like this one here, that I know every time I'm going to talk about topic of the week, and I'm going to talk about yoga for the entire week, so I can use the different sections within Copy here. That might be day 1, this bit might be day 2, or I might go back up and change employee retention to something else. Then I'm always going to have some recommended partners, then I'm going to have industry news, then I have work with us, I might have something else, but I want people to always know what's going to happen in my newsletter. So what I can do is I can preview how everything looks, so I can see how it's going to look on the web. So this is how it's going to look when people read it on my website. I can see how it's going to look in the email as well. Just make sure that it looks good, it's laid out nicely, and people can digest it. What I can do then is it's this button here, which is Save Template. When you click on this, then that layout will be saved. So you might not want to have quite as much information as I've got in there, but when you have created an outline that you're happy with and the sections that you want, then you can come in and you can name it whatever you want. And you can have multiple templates, which means you can have templates for different days of the week, maybe a template for your creative website and a template for your deep dive website. And then you can just save that, and then you'll be able to see it in all of your templates. When you go to the right section and you go into posts, what you'll be able to do is you can start with something blank. You just click that drop down and then hit start writing, and it will go over to the blank page. Or what you can do is you can hit use template, choose a template, and then you'll be able to pick whichever template you want to use. So you might have one for curated, you might have one for deep dive, and then you can go into that, which means that the next time when I'm writing the next day, I can just use this template, and then it's already set up as a brand new post. So that might be yoga week 1, and this is now going to be Tuesday. And then I can just go through and I can change the top information, go back into Copy, swap out the information there. I'm going to keep the recommended providers the same. I might swap out the industry news for a couple new articles, and then I'm going to keep that section at the end. And then straight away, very quickly, I'll save myself a ton of time, just a few edits, and then I can schedule it, and then I can just repeat the same process for Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. Or if you're doing it once a week, once a month, whatever you're doing, you can very easily use that template feature to save you a huge amount of time. Just remember, you do want to go through and use these settings as well. Make sure you've got them optimized. But as I said, if you want to see our full training on Copy, you should be able to see a little card pop up on the screen now. Just hit that and you'll be able to see us create both a curated and a long form newsletter with those tools. If you want to join our newsletter, then just go down into the description where you can join that, and we'll see you in the next one.